What's up, YouTube? HoneyBee here, and we're going to do another tournament match breakdown analysis video where I'm going to go over my tournament matches from Viennality that were streamed, and we're going to go over these and just take a look at how some of the matches were, give some insight on how they went, maybe some behind the scenes stuff of what happened at Viennality. So we're going to start out with my match against Hamu. Hamu was actually my very first match that I had when I was in the winner's side of my pool. He used Cheetah against me, and I was thinking he was going to be a Starfire player, but he ended up being a Cheetah player. After that, I had fought Do Basic, who sent me to losers. Unfortunately, that was off stream. I would have loved if that was streamed so I could rewatch it and see exactly what happened there. But we're gonna just start with my first stream match. So at this point in the tournament, I am in the losers bracket. So if I were to lose, I would be eliminated. Viennality is one of those tournaments where my brother and I went, and I was having very high hopes to do well. In my mind, I wanted like minimum top 4 at this tournament because it is expensive. You know, you go across the whole world, and the competition there is not as strong as it would be at something like CEO or Combo Breaker or whatever North American tournament. So I had high hopes for myself, high expectations. Let's go ahead and start with the first match I have here, which is me versus Hamu. This is in loser's side.
And when you're playing the flash, you're going to make sure that you leave nothing on the table. You want to make sure you get knocked down,
that's a button check.
All right, let's have the discussion because I haven't had it with you. All right,
I'm not sure what country that is. All I know is it's Middle East. That
a lot
Hamu
of the
is
times
from.
we get caught up in the button checks and I just admire how godlike the gear is in the game. And that's why we always try to make sure that random.
Katana Prime talking about how Cheetah's gear is low tier.
Does Cheetah have bottom 5 gear in the game?
Yeah, it's pretty bad.
I
Cheetah
don't
has
like to
terrible
the game,
gear.
But I do think Cheetah has the ugliest.
So for those of you that watched my
We are the same
Combo
page.
Breaker
I think
video
Cheetah
where I
has
fought
bottom 5 gear
Alcatraz,
in the game.
this is
There's people
same
that
matchup,
like it,
Cheetah
fair
Flash.
enough. I like the bonus
In
section,
this,
I think
I
it's
didn't
pretty
have,
good.
there was actually no issues in regards to laggy setups or anything, so I was really happy
All
about
right.
that.
I love her gameplay though. She is Maniac, and right now, great down 2, dealing with none of your pound shenanigans is HoneyBee as we set things off here.
Right.
Canada trying to find its way over here. The
Getting a
North
little bit of a
Americans
mix
actually
going
the
on.
lowest
I was actually surprised he was able to block that.
So,
We had to see some of those small resets. HoneyBee obviously understanding he didn't have bar to go for the meter band lightning kick, so he had to go for those plus frames instead. Even though he actually got the mix-ups, it's going to be swiftly undone by a cheater
Getting
reset.
nicked.
this time we're going to spin the bar. We want big boy
Okay,
damage, but
there we go.
drops it, and because of that lead, he allows himself to be
Really
opened
definitely
up.
fucked
He
up
gave
there.
Flash corner damage. Great
Just
delay
delay
wake up.
wake
I
up.
like the idea of the forward dash. Probably looking for another decent jump. But
And right there you can see, I was kind of expecting him to do something, so I just kind of waited. Waited for him to either land, at which point I could chip him out, or for him to just whiff that pounce. And he did whiff the pounce, so I was able to just get a quick and easy punish on that. One of those things where patience is important. He whiffed another one of those, which was pretty bad.
Good catch. Definitely a favorable position for HoneyBee.
Sometimes Cheetah players, they like to do a jump 3 and then just air cancel it into the pounce, but if they do that, it is punishable, so you have to be ready for those.
Going out some feelers. I like it. Suction cup a little too early that time.
I don't think that's going to deter Hamo though, because
Oh, you're dead.
it whiffed. Yes, that's
Oh,
the
get a little bit of a
reset
reset.
time. Here we go.
Yeah,
Oh, mix up.
there you go.
You're dead. You're actually dead. All right, one more mix. HoneyBee looking for the optimal, spending all of the resources now. Good damage territory.
Ooh, that was pretty far down too. I was actually able to hit it. And yeah, just wake up.
Incredibly on point. And the wake up because why not? He has
Nothing to worry about there. So that was the first match.
Game is 0. They're extremely close until, you know, it just fell apart. You had the clash early and then you get opened up again. We're talking about the flash. One touch, one bar.
Gave me a little bit of smiles right there.
Upwards of 500.
You'll see that when I play tournament matches, I'm very serious a lot of times. If I win, I'm serious. If I lose, I'm serious. I don't like to show too much emotion when I'm playing. I really try to be focused and stay in the zone. And like, I rarely pop off. Like you saw, if you guys saw me at Evo, that was like definitely a pop off moment. But I don't really get too much like that because maybe if I won a whole tournament, but A little bit of a reset there. I think I dropped this, unfortunately. Yeah, I hit that back too early. But yeah, if I were to win a major, I'd pop off. But yeah, just winning like stuff here and there. And I always think that like I would never pop off on like a lesser known player because why I don't know, doesn't really make sense.
Gonna have some unblockables, gonna leap right out of that range.
So yeah, I'm usually pretty serious when I play these matches.
For HoneyBee.
And especially since I'm in losers, like it's very important to stay focused in the tournament. Now, see, like I saw, there's a couple times I feel where Hamu would just like whiff his forward threes, and if you're gonna do that, yeah, you're gonna get punished for it. So that definitely hurt him.
Right, leaping his way in, just shy. Hamo trying to get it in. And
That just randomly crossed up. I don't know if he knew that was gonna happen or not.
Just out of range, looking at sweeping, and we're getting crazy now. Just jumping all over the screen and right under that command grab from the Hamo. HoneyBee following it up, back three. Again, 500 damage. What's the mix up?
A little bit of a reset there, you know, a little mix up. Do a forward three, cancel it, and he's dead. So at this point, I'm pretty sure Hamu's thinking like, yeah, I've lost 5 games with Cheetah so far. Should probably pull out someone else. He decides to go Cyborg. And I'm confident against Cyborg. No issues here.
Hamo not able to get it. HoneyBee mixing up Flash God Lord. Not even impressed. You know, this is a man who's definitely a top 5 guy in the scene who feels
There's
himself.
Ultra David.
And not a smile or a smirk on his face. HoneyBee on a mission trying to fight his way through the loser's bracket as the Hamo switches to Cyborg.
Yes, I was about to point that out when he did it in the character select. Now he's not going to be able to get much of a punish on that. Lightning kick, unfortunately, because the speed force is factoring in, we're going to get a reset into an overhead. Now, this is the world's worst matchup for Cyborg because, like,
yeah, that's a little bit of a reset right there. He tried to down 2, but
needs to get a good start
yeah,
for things to go
doesn't
well.
quite
Because
work.
Cyborg, he struggles to recover. He can't really make
So right here, like you can't be too impatient. You like if you can get Cyborg cornered, at some point he'll fuck up. So you just gotta wait for it.
This matchup is not
Yeah.
now he's in the corner.
And there, I see it coming.
But he'll take that trade.
Go
He's still
the
gonna get
Fist of
caught
Fury
on
for
this,
the
by way.
trade.
And HoneyBee knew exactly what was happening. The easy cancel into the Fist of Fury, coming back for the trade. I mean, it's just next level stuff.
But the thing is,
So yeah, just kind of work your way in and like try to get him to the corner. Flash has some decent options against him. I was being a little bit impatient there, but I think that's mainly because I just wasn't respecting him that much. I was feeling like maybe I was getting a little bit too impatient and just wanted to finish the match really quickly, but I think I go for a reset here and it failed. That's the thing about some of Flash's resets, like you really have to be like get it within the few frames, and I missed it, but it's fine. It was pretty decisive.
He's gonna need, and it's not gonna be enough. A very dominant 3-0.
And that's the first set that I have against Mu. The next one I have is actually against Dubasic. Let's take a look at that. Alright, so now I'm fighting Dubasic. This is to make top 8 losers. Dubasic is the guy that sent me to losers early on in this tournament. Unfortunately, it was off stream, but the way that matchup went was he started Wonder Woman. So I started Starfire because I don't like to fight Wonder Woman with Flash. At which point he beat my Wonder Woman in the first set that we had. He beat my Wonder Woman. I mean, I beat his Wonder Woman. Let's restart that. All right, so now. Alright, so now we're at the point where I have to fight Dubasic to make top 8 losers side of the bracket. Alright, so now we're at the point where I have to fight Dubasic again to make top 8 losers side of the tournament. Dubasic is the guy that sent me to losers early on. The way the first set that we had went was he picked Wonder Woman, and I do not like to fight Wonder Woman with Flash. I think the matchup's quite bad, so I went straight to Starfire, and he actually beat me in the first match. I was playing the matchup really like kind of autopilot, I would say. I would just kind of shoot stuff. I guess I might have like been just underestimating him and not thinking that he would do that well. So I was just kind of like doing my thing, just zoning whatever. And he would just make good like reads with his meter burn roll in to stop me and all that kind of stuff in the first match. So he actually ended up winning, but then I adapted in the next 2 matches and I beat him. So I was up 2-1. in the Starfire Wonder Woman matchup, at which point he switched to Enchantress. And I wasn't really ready for the Enchantress matchup, and it was really close with Starfire, but I ended up losing, at which point like I took a long pause, and I was kind of just like, okay, do I want to stick it out with Starfire, or do I want to go Flash? And I decided to go Flash, which ended up not being a great option. I couldn't really get anything started in the final match. He would like down to me because Enchantress has a really good down two when I try to jump in. He would jump in at me pretty freely because Enchantress's jumps are really strong, and like he would just kind of mopping me, I think, in the final game. So he ended up sending me to losers. So I was thinking if I do fight him again, I'll just go Starfire and he'll probably just go Enchantress, but I felt confident that I could just beat his Enchantress with Starfire. I think Starfire does have an edge in that matchup. So let's take a look.
Reflect, so it's going to somewhat shut down that full screen game, but I feel like Starfire just kind of has the constant damage. She has the monopoly on that. I believe we're doing a button check.
HoneyBee going Starfire. We did see this match in there. One.
All right.
No, he did not win the match with Starfire against Enchantress. Yeah, this one was with the win. Yeah, so we are good to go. Losers final.
I mean,
are we ready?
We could be in for a really good one here. The one thing is that, you know, the pressure might get shut down by Starfire, who has excellent wake-up games. The full screen, neutral kind of base game, Starfire will have the advantage of, well, yes, there's a reflect, but I'm wondering if Starfire is going to be almost like an answer to this character.
So yeah, the goal in this matchup is to basically you always want to have trade available because Enchantress does have that Hell's Gate move that reflects projectiles, meaning it'll reflect her straight beam or her Stardust, but for some reason the trait doesn't count as a projectile, so it'll beat that. So you kind of always want to have some trait on deck so that she's scared to like kind of use that move, and then you can kind of just use that to start zoning. So you'll see that I try to keep my trait like available. That was a nice forward dash to beat the Stardust. It looked like he would actually, that was actually a combo right there. Down one into the hair whip thing, like that actually has a small gap, but I don't think it's big enough that characters can actually do anything about it. So yeah, it's better just to block that.
That one opening that basic gave HoneyBee, that's why the round was lost.
Yeah.
See, and now you see how my trait just went right past it.
That wall's gonna go right through it.
Ouch, that was a poorly placed Stardust. It must have been like some kind of input error.
It is. Will he recover some health? He does not, but instead, he's perfectly fine with taking that health bar.
Not really going to be able to do much about that full screen trade because they trade it back. Great read on the back three for HoneyBee. Now he's going to get the knockdown for another time.
He elected
Save.
not to clash that.
Ooh.
Looking for the parry and HoneyBee with the read.
I was just waiting for him to wake up with like his normal wake up, but then he woke up parry. That was a really weird decision, I think. And yeah, it really killed him in this match because then I just got way too much life and it was just way too easy to chip him out at the end. I didn't even need to chip him out, he just got hit. But yeah, him waking up with parry just completely killed him in that game.
One mistake. There was definitely one mistake there. Not clashing.
Yep. Full whiff string equals punish.
And positioning. He just kind of gave that one away there in the final moments.
Those forward threes, they're kind of risky because there's so much startup. You need to be so
I got kind of lucky with no punish there.
Tries to go in for the spell, doesn't get anything to come out, and just through chip alone, we're almost at half life gone. Doesn't quite get the jump in, unfortunately. Good read on the air dash, but wonderfully spaced by HoneyBee. Yeah, there's the back two now. If you're going to try an air dash, eat this back two, mate.
All right, and there's a meter burn 4-3 to go through things finally. Some off.
He was so ready for me to jump here.
All right, the great reaction.
He was
there,
super ready for me to jump.
Is do basic. Another patient guy right here. We're seeing it. I mean, it's a big part of the neutral in Injustice 2. Like to wake up. Bad trade.
And that's gonna hurt.
One catch on trade, big damage. Excellent block.
Yeah, that doesn't really work, especially not against Starfire. Starfire is down 1-6 frames. It's pretty risky to do something like that, but DoBasic was trying to catch me pressing a button. But yeah, that didn't work. Ouch. He just confirmed into that. I mean committed. And it just worked out there.
So many special moves, so much chip damage, so much on the block, especially with the Stardust.
Ooh, that was nice from him.
No,
he's ready for the whiff forward three, back three.
He gets the spell. Not sure how much this is helping him as it's gone right away, and the 50.
He really should have been more ready for those throws. Starfire players are always going to want to just throw you into the corner.
Interruption is not an interruption because the grab combos into Stardust.
Oh, 4-3 now, looking to run it back.
Ouch.
Sends the the projectile right back at him.
That was nice
And
down
the
two
down
there.
two to go under the forward two from HoneyBee. Do basic now. Hasn't been able to get any traditional offense going.
See, he just kept on getting hit by that.
Tossing him back into the corner. He
That's
doesn't
like
want
3
him to
times I did it,
The
at
second you
least.
expect to grab, though, she's going to get the knockdown, which again
Yeah,
kind of puts
free.
you full screen, which is what she wants. Going in for the close clusters. A nice read by HoneyBee.
And great blocks of the mix-up from the overhead, and the sweep is HoneyBee.
Yeah, this is
recognizing that
looking
Basic
pretty
has been
bad
canceling
for
that
him.
swing just short.
Okay, so, I mean, this really isn't all or nothing. You have to go
Uh-oh.
just in case. Hang on. Okay, what's going on here?
He's going to have to put that back up. Yes, he does. All right, HoneyBee's going to need a bunch of
Again,
hits. No,
I hit him with
gonna
that.
take either in this situation. And do Basic looking to get the hit before he can summon it again, but no, it
And
doesn't
chip.
commit. And unfortunately, no combo. That is now 2-0.
Yeah, Basic was
and
starting to
HoneyBee
make a little bit of a
out.
comeback there, but
Also had a few bad games, but
I'm
I
surprised he
think the
didn't
run
like opt to
delivering
like
on that
switch a
promise so
stage or
far.
do anything different, because those first 2 matches were pretty decisive. He did way better in the last match though, I think. He should have meter burned that for a full combo. That was a nice whip punish right there. I was using my back threes not as well as I should have been. I think he trip whip punished me a few times because of it.
And eats the meter burn version of a back three from HoneyBee. 400 damage to a pure zoning character in Starfire, and it's just one of the more pure zoners in the game.
Absolutely.
Oh, again, yeah. I definitely was not spacing my back threes that well. I think I was just expecting him to just like kind of come forward, and that's what I mean about his shield thing. The trait just melts it. The trait doesn't give a fuck. Nice down two. And I tried to wake up with the back forward too, but he just beat it.
Now we have the trait available, but one bad call into trait from Starfire could actually take that life away and make things even again. An interesting read, but it misses.
4-3 animation is so good. Just a big fist right in. And the
And
second
got
hit
that.
does not come out quickly enough, and HoneyBee fighting back 1 life bar away from the 3-0 to send the man who sent him to losers packing back home to Russia and a jump in.
Ooh, that was a definite input error right there. And then all of that went wrong because of an input error. Oh man, Injustice is definitely one of those games where like you make one mistake and it just goes wrong real quick. Can't make those kind of mistakes in this game. That's kind of risky for me to do that.
Risk there from HoneyBee, but works out as he gets the hit.
I wonder if he tried to challenge the plus frames of that 3-hit string, and that's why he got a hair flip. Maybe a down 1 hair flip is what he tried to do.
All right, the wall is up, but again, Starfire's straight going directly through it. No issue to her. Gets the cross up, but doesn't commit. There's a sweep, knock down some Oki.
There's the trait.
Goes in for the anti-air. Gets down 2 for his troubles now into the corner.
He's in a really good position right now,
Standing
Basic.
2 for the restand. How does Basic follow this up? He's
You know, I'm kind of scared to do a forward 2 at this point, just because he was down 2ing it a few times. But I went for it again, and he kept on trying to block it as an overhead. If he adapted to that, he definitely could have won at least this match. Yeah, he was trying to get a spell, and I'm like, no. So at this point, you can see that the life, like he's really low on life. Both of us are. He still has Clash available, so my goal at this point is either to chip him out or just to land something unclashable with like a bounce cancel or something.
Really is. That's like disaster.
So we're right here, and I kind of just went for it. Down 1, bounce cancel. He tried to throw me for some reason. I didn't think he would throw me, but I thought he would press a button of some sort or just not be ready to block the overhead. So that's why I went for it. Just down 1, bounce cancel.
Wow.
And it worked out.
HoneyBee finds a way. Basic falls apart, and the dream is not yet dead.
And just like that, I made loser's side of top 8, where I would have to fight Tekken Master next. So let's take a look at that match. And here we are. This is me versus Tekken Master in top 8 of Viennality, loser's side. Going into this, I knew that the loser of Bio versus Katana Prime would have to fight the winner of me versus Tekken Master. So I was definitely hoping that my brother would beat KP because I would feel more comfortable fighting Katana Prime over my brother. And I felt that if I were to beat Tekken Master, I felt confident that I would then beat Katana Prime, get a top 4, and then potentially do better. But top 4 going into this tournament was kind of like the minimum of what I wanted, because then I'd have 100 points for Pro Series from this one tournament, and then it's like 170 total, and I'd be in a really solid position. Because going into this tournament, I'm like in an okay position. I have 70 points or whatever, and like I really wanted to get a good amount of points. So beating Tekken Master was definitely key for me at this tournament in terms of where I would stand in the Pro Series points for this season so far.
He definitely has a couple of tricks up his sleeve.
So here we go. He starts with Atrocitus. Also, another thing to note is Atrocitus's mix, where he does the punches into like the double overhead or the puddle. It is fuzzyable. It's kind of hard to do it consistently, like 100% of the time, but it definitely is possible to fuzzy it. And I had been practicing a lot, and Tekken Master is actually one of those Atrocitus players that he does go for the mix a lot. So knowing the fuzzy and how to do it against someone like Tekken Master, if he's gonna use Atrocitus on you, it is 100% vital. So you'll see throughout the match that I did practice it a lot, and I think I was successful more often than not.
Everyone, everything. Oh no. Tekken Master's not going to tell you every character he plays. No, I mean, of course. Why would you? Do you remember when no one even knew he had a Devore and then he got second to Evo? Yeah.
He got the first hit. So I think he actually starts off by doing the mix right here. So he goes straight into the mix. I block it. What I should have done is honestly I should have just done a back forward 1 and trade with the cat if the cat's gonna do the thing. But I tried to do a back 3, but instead I got a down back 3. As you can see, I just got that. Tekken Master actually wasn't gonna shoot the cat because he was probably expecting me to do the back forward 1 trade. And he tries to go for the mix again, just like that. And once again, I tried to do a back 3, but I got a down back 3. So bad input errors.
I think it's quite dangerous enforcing the mix up already. You know, the forward 2-2, the advancing punches, that into the overhead.
He went for the mix again, and that is fuzzyable, but I didn't get it. But like, yeah, that's going for the mix with Atrocitus. Like, it is definitely it is risky. But the thing is, it's a lot easier to deal with offline as opposed to online. Online, I don't really know if it's possible to fuzzy it. I feel like the character does way better online because you kind of just have to guess, I feel, online. Unless you have like really good ping. But see, I'm just fuzzying it there. I should have done back forward 1 trades. I don't know why I didn't, honestly.
Dexter is now flew off back to his house. We'll see him again soon, I'm sure. But Tekken Master now with that life lead and 4 bars to work with. Ooh.
That was an input error. Didn't want that.
What's going to happen here? V2 roll. HoneyBee just trying to get point blank. And that back forward 2 is going to cause quite a lot of those, like, you know, distance space situations. But Atrocitus not really seems to be a zoning archetype, but he has got tools that can establish range. Well, I mean, and the flash has to get in, right? We saw the breath be not so.
He went for the mix again. This time I didn't fuzzy it, even though I tried.
Will be a different story. He does not have the long limbs of Robin. He does not have access to those quick, you know, super far range attacks. So the breath is going to be a big problem for him. Sonic pound into the
and it's Tekken Master doing the smart thing, push blocking me off of him immediately. Messed up the fuzzy again. Like, that's the thing, you can practice the fuzzy a lot, but you're not going to hit it 100% of the time, but it is important to still practice it. See, I did block it there, and because of that, I was able to punish him.
It's worth going forward. You know, if you're going to be fighting off against HoneyBee, it's kind of obvious what character he's going to play. Even if you don't like playing.
Also, for those of you wondering what I'm talking about when I'm saying fuzzying it, fuzzy blocking is essentially in this situation, Atrocitus, his mix off of his, I think it's the 4-2 string, he can go into a low puddle or he can do it into an overhead hit. Fuzzying is kind of like getting the timing right so that you can block both options by just switching from a low block to an overhead block. So in this situation against Atrocitus, like you have to hold down for a few frames longer than holding up before you switch to up, because then if you do that, he'll do the low puddle and you'll block it low, but then if he goes for the overhead, it'll come out a few frames after, at which point, if you do the fuzzy correctly from going down to up, then you'll be able to block both options. And then the way it is, you actually have to fuzzy down to up and then up to down to get the second part of the mix. And if you can do it consistently, then you won't have too much to worry about in terms of Atrocitus' mix.
Wonderful throw tech. Down one. You know that down one was buffered into puddle as well.
Oh, hang on a minute.
No. This is one of
yeah, this was a... Yeah, that's bad. He had way too much life. I'm basically out of it already. Somehow I dropped that. Not good.
Slow catfall. Still good though. Right, have to take those mix-ups. Guaranteed.
So yeah, bad first match for me, but I'm like, you know, I can do it.
So Injustice 2 currently has
no problem. I think I stuck with the stage. Yeah, because the stage is fine. I don't really have an issue with the stage, so just stuck with it.
Well, they both did play Deadshot back in the day.
I should have punished him for summoning it straight there.
Still, you know, they have access to it, but they're looking to continue.
And here comes the mix.
That
when he does that overhead into the spit, you can actually duck block it. But I was late. But there we go. Get a nice little punish there. Nothing too big because I didn't have any bar, but I take those. Nice push block again.
But if he doesn't have a bar, maybe not so much mid-screen. Yeah, exactly. Oh, the reversal. Of course, this is one of those matchups that if HoneyBee can get the...
I don't know why I tried to do that.
You used to be able to get a combo, not so much anymore, but it used to be a very important part of the matchup. It's not quite possible now.
And sometimes I do that in that situation just to wear out a little bit more of a straight time. And as you can see, he went for the mix again. I fuzzied it twice in a row.
But at high level, if you set it to be training, a lot of players now can detect whether it's overhead or not.
That's essentially what Ketchup is saying on commentary right now, is about being able to block it.
He's enforcing the mix-up every time he's blocking forward too. He's forcing HoneyBee to get the fuzzy, you know, keeping him stressed out. It's not the easiest thing in the world to do. You know, it can be done, but it's definitely not super simple.
See, I got the fuzzy again.
Managing to punish it.
That's like at least 3 times in a row right there. I'm surprised that I feel like in the first few matches, like, you can see that I know what I'm doing. Like, there's no way I'm just guessing right that many times. And he just kept going for it. When he, right here, when he ended in spit, like, right here, he does the overhead into the spit.
The other two to deal with the health bar that Flash has
right here. And you can actually, if I went down faster, then the spit actually completely whiffs. But I was holding up for a few more frames, I guess, to block the overhead option. So that's actually not safe. But it was working out for him a little bit. And I messed up with fuzzy.
That is a disastrous back three in HoneyBee.
But yeah, Tekken Master was definitely relying too much on the mix in this situation and just basically hoping that I would guess wrong or just fuck up my fuzzy block.
Quickly, but how can he go with it now? Doesn't have the cap.
Straw
Wow, that's
puddle.
one way of dealing with it.
That was really ballsy.
Just long enough that he can get down to
Free trade activation.
Now it's high time. Blocks to wake up, can't punish. Will we get the pressure? Again, does he dedicate?
See it there, I got the fuzzy there.
I love the matchup knowledge, knowing you can still know profile. Plus frames, not challenged. Now look at how much damage Tekken Master was able to do.
Yeah, it's pretty close, but I just need one touch. And got the fuzzy. Again, like, I think I successfully hit the fuzzy like at least 5-6 times in that one match. Like, Tekken Master kept going for it. Against me, he kept going for it. So I was surprised, like, at how much he was committing to the mix-up. And just basically hoping I would fuck up.
Giving the Flash the background bounce is always kind of risky because as if he didn't have enough setups, the background bounce just kind of adds an extra
This stage,
layer.
I would say, definitely favors power characters, though. They have the thing right there to pull, that's unblockable. They have the thing in the corner there to throw, that's unblockable.
One thing the background bounce gives is a meatless hard knockdown. Wonderful block, but you can only block for so long against the Flash. This character's going to mix you for days. You might be able to fuzzy
Bit
it
of a
early
mix.
for setup purposes. You might be able to fuzzy Atrocitus, but you definitely can't fuzzy the Flash.
And I got the fuzzy again.
HoneyBee, he's blocking it every time. Tekken Master.
That was like at least like
I mean, he's
5 or 6 in a
dedicated to
row
that
that I
kind
got
of style
right.
of Atrocitus, but it's just not working. HoneyBee's defense is too good.
And he
Point blank
right in
Dex
my face. That's not even a punish.
going on with
I
that
should have
one.
punished his
Tekken Master
summon, but I wasn't
needs
even
to
ready
sort
for
of
him.
make
I
something work here.
just hit him with the
Obviously, this
mix
transition using quite a lot of that
afterwards.
break time. HoneyBee has no qualm sitting in the block. There we go, gets opened
There
up
we
now.
go,
Tekken
messed up
Master
the fuzzy.
sticking true. He is
But like
establishing
it's so risky that the way he was playing
I love
this.
the optimization too, going
No,
in
like,
and picking two, knowing
because I
he's
showed that
a
I
bit
could
higher, which guarantees
fuzzy it.
background bounce.
So it was
The jump
super
through
risky for him
definitely would
to
have pulled out that
continue
one.
doing it,
Okay.
I feel.
Attempts to go for the quick special. Not quite going to work. Tekken
Ouch.
Master, I like this approach now. Really slowing down HoneyBee again. And there's
Nice
a big
down two.
anti, a great trade for Tekken
Ah, that
Master.
was
and
a
chases
terrible,
down the
flip
air
out that I
tech
did.
well. Wonderful turn of events.
Oh yeah, I'm not dead though.
A
A little bit of extra damage.
Get
Get out of the corner.
The punch float's not
Tried to hit
gonna
him
work.
again,
The
but it
running
didn't quite work.
That must
But
have been a painful punch float. to
that was good for me because I got myself out of that
Tekken Master
bad
still looking
situation.
okay, but HoneyBee now slightly in the
I kept
lead.
trying to
Matches
like,
the string.
you can see here
Confirmed, Tekken Master.
what I'm trying to do.
Can't believe he's
I'm sticking out my foot, and I'm actually doing a down 1 buffer into the lift in case Atrocitus advances at the same time that I do the down 1. It'll basically buffer into the meter burn lift, and I can get a full combo punish. You'll see me just sticking my foot out. So I stuck my foot out, but then he actually ended up hitting me as whiff punishing me as I was sticking my foot out. So it can work, but sometimes you can get blown up for it, and in this case I got blown up for it. But if I hit it, it would have looked nice, I'll tell you that much. And doing the fuzzy again.
Tries to play it safer. We're going to get one more guess. Staggers it, knowing we want to get every ounce of trait
And
possible.
he tried to mix it up with that, but I was able to block.
I say, considering the amount of time
That's
Tekken Master's gone for that advantage during the 4-2.
Nice push block again. Yeah, Tekken Master it's good that he just kept push blocking my trait usage. And this matchup right now is like it's looking pretty grim for me. How did I win this? God damn. Yeah, that was a bad choice from him to like do that move, because me being able to clash definitely let me have a second chance at this match.
Oh, hang on a minute, right in front of the environment. Now the siphon from this
Yeah,
life
this
is
was
actually
scary.
pretty dangerous.
Just went for that. That was risky on my part, because if he pressed any button, I would have died. But I just went for
We're going to
that.
trade bar here, or is he going to try and? Because if Tekken Master spends the bar, he can't kill HoneyBee. But if HoneyBee spends the bar, he
That's
can't really
close.
kill Tekken Master. What the clash did do was undo the progress of the Dexter trade. It's going to take it
Yeah.
even longer to come
The
back.
problem right now is that we both don't have trait, but Atrocitus's trait comes back faster than mine. And if he were to get it and immediately activate it, and I don't have any way of stopping him, there's really nothing I could do. He could just chip me out.
Flash, they both have to sit there and wait for their cooldown.
Fortunately, I got the grab, so he stopped that. So right now, see, he has his trait already. I don't have mine, so I'm making sure that I stay close to him so that if he does activate his trait, I'll punish him with a back forward too. So like, I'm kind of just waiting for that. He goes for the that was punishable. And right now we both have our trait, right? I see he activates his, so I immediately activate mine. This is the part where Tekken Master, he could have closed it out though. Like, I activate my trait, and when I activate my trait, I can't block. So if Tekken Master just activated a shield on himself as soon as he saw I activated my trait, I wouldn't have been able to do anything. But instead, he shoots a cat ball, and I'm able to run past it. As you can see, he runs a cat ball, I run past it, and then I just kill him.
Clean through into the cancel. HoneyBee waiting for the Dexter.
If he activated shield though, I would have either run into his shield, at which point I'd just die because I would do that, and then I'm forced to block whatever he's doing, and then I would get chipped out. Or I would have just waited, and then he could just puddle me because I'm in trade, so I would die. That was a huge win for me though, like winning that match, because winning that match, he decided to switch off of Atrocitus, which was good for me, because even though I was practicing the fuzzy and whatever, you know, you can't do it all the time, and the matchup is still kind of hard to deal with, even if you can do the fuzzy block. So the matchup it doesn't make the matchup like winning for Flash, but it makes it more doable. And for some reason he goes at him. Look at my eyes. I'm like what?
I mean, this is such a Tekken Master thing to do.
Yeah. I don't know why he went at him. Flash beats at him. So, and I'm like really prepared for this matchup. So as soon as he went at him, I'm like, okay, like thanks for the win, because I'm not gonna lose to a pocket
I'm
Adam.
not even gonna question it. Oh my goodness. I'm not even gonna question it. He changed his character so much. Yeah, I believe it. Let's go. Adam versus Flash. Well, HoneyBee starting things off by blocking all of the traits.
That should have worked, but I guess I was just a little bit off. But yeah, just hold down. You know, I was ready for the throw tech too.
I mean, I don't know what's up. HoneyBee is just some kind of
And
next level brick wall at the moment. His defense is just incredible. This will be a full combo too. Some setup potential into the overhead. Tekken Master loses his first life bar, and this could be
great start.
Beginning of the end.
Great start for the match. Definitely want to hold on to this life lead and have him in the corner. Goes into the trade, kind of gets out. But then, you know,
long last, an entire life bar later, and HoneyBee finally gets opened up by the trade. Now back against the wall, Tekken Master, and there is
that's huge. If Flash ever wins an air-to-air like that in the corner, he basically gets like 45%.
See ya later on that one.
For 1 bar.
So we're going to be able to undo some of this work, but even with that in mind, HoneyBee fully in the driver's seat with the health he's got left. Absolutely, Tekken Master stopping the bleeding somewhat, getting some health back, but at this point, it's such a mountain to climb.
See, I just waited out, really.
And then wake up, no fear.
He could have blocked that, though.
I mean, really
he could block and
yeah.
punish it.
Tekken Master's gonna
But
have to show
he just
HoneyBee
didn't.
perspective, because right now HoneyBee is just almost going so next level that
Ouch.
everything he's doing is working. If I'm going down 2, absolutely, but a wonderful forward 3. The danger now is that HoneyBee does still have his clash available. He does, but this is not a terrible situation for Tekken Master. It was crucial.
So I was ready here, as you can see there. He hit me. He hit me on the ground, and I just knew that he would try to activate trait, because when Adam has trait available, they generally want to activate it as soon as possible so that they can get their free chip, get their free damage, whatever, and then let it just rebuild again. So as soon as he knocked me down, I knew he was gonna go for it, so that's why I woke up with the Sonic Lift, because it would beat it out like that.
Oh my god! HoneyBee just sticking it out, making sure to cover the air, and it worked out so well for him.
That was a good block
Tekken
for
Master,
him.
still alive. Fighting back the trade on the anti-air attempt from HoneyBee. HoneyBee losing more health there.
And yeah,
and he
that was
for it.
too risky on his part, and that was it.
In, and there's the air tech. HoneyBee playing out of his mind.
And just like that, I beat Tekken Master. Next match, Katana Prime. So now I have to fight Katana Prime, and you'll see that these next few matches, unfortunately, I did not use Flash. I know people get disappointed and whatever, but I'm here to win. I'm here to not try. Like, the thing is I'm fully capable of using Starfire in a lot of these matchups, and it just so happened that this was a Starfire path right after fighting Tekken Master, where Katana Prime goes Wonder Woman. There's no way I'm going to pick Flash in this matchup when I can play Starfire, who does way better than Flash does. So that's why I went Starfire, and the same thing goes for like when I fought Irish Mantis. He used Atrocitus, and although I beat Tekken Master with Flash, and I could have beaten Mantis with Flash, I know that Starfire is a better matchup. The only reason I didn't use Starfire against Tekken Master is because I know he has like counters for Starfire. So then I just decided to use Flash in that
He does it
matchup.
more than I think any other Starfire player I've seen. Katana Prime has quite a lot of health here. I mean, this is a bit of an uphill battle.
So yeah, this matchup is really all about just, you know, keeping her out as much as possible. Wonder Woman obviously wants to get in close. Starfire obviously wants to stay away. Sometimes like people are saying like, why are you being so lame and zoning, but people need to understand, like, you need to play to your character's strengths, and this is Starfire's strength, is zoning. So that's why that's the name of the game in this matchup, is try to keep her out as much as possible, get your chip damage where you can get it, try to stay away, and sometimes, you know, when she's close, making those right reads and maybe getting the hit for a full combo. That was a nice movement forward three from him.
Forward 3, Katana Prime. No, but drop the combo, that's unfortunate. Tries to go for it again, and oh man, that sucks. Because he's got the clash, but HoneyBee was able to swap positions first with the special, the Tamaranian charge.
So yeah, this was a really good start to the
The
first game
difficulty
for
here
me.
as well is that KP, you know, he's just fresh off losing to Starfire to Biohazard. You know, he was able to do really well versus Bane, but unfortunately, the second we saw that change to Starfire, the matchup was visually very, very uncomfortable for KP. Oh wow, actually that was a clean punish on that down 2. Oh wow, nice throw from Katana Prime.
That was a nice roll in.
Spends a second bar too. That's gonna be the first life bar.
Anytime
Still in this
Starfire
one.
does throw
You can never count
Stardust,
him out. You can never count
a
him
meter
out,
burn
but I do
roll in
worry
will
about
normally
his
punish.
resources. You know, he kind of needs those meters to do any damage with the meter burn shield toss. It's gonna be super fundamentally focused here, but
From,
as
like,
I say that,
far
he's just
range.
getting chipped down bit by bit. There's the back three on block, used as a poke in itself. One of the best back threes in the game, without a doubt. Oh wow, walks straight into the sweep.
I didn't think he would do a double sweep there.
Oh, interruption. But what a down to Katana Prime. That's in the corner.
Getting a little bit antsy right there. That's not a smart thing to do, to like ever really wake up with that, especially in that kind of situation.
Not to get in, but to force HoneyBee back into the corner. I mean, positioning is everything.
Yeah,
It's kind of
that was a
matchup, and that's
punish,
going to be a full punish, but
that was
HoneyBee
kind of weird.
doesn't get the follow-up.
So at this point, it's really just a matter of chipping her out, trying to get a touch, trying to make her block the Stardust, and then chipping her. That was a good delayed wake up from KP, but yeah, it worked.
Such a good
there.
delayed wake up beforehand as well, but that really was a guaranteed death situation. The second you're within those clusters and you have nothing to push block with and you're in a bad situation, I mean, that's it, you're guaranteed down. But it is hard to be in that situation against Starfire. You know, one of her absolute best traits to her is her chip damage potential. If she can get the Stardust, you know, loop the,
nice.
you know, the trait beam on the back of it, that chip damage is monstrous. We see her with building bar by, you know, by being chipped out. We might have actually seen.
Ooh, that was a nice
break
flip out
there,
from
but
KP.
unfortunately, the first hit, I believe, forward 2 just completely missed. Okay, that's a good trade for HoneyBee.
He's actually in the lead right now.
Still
That's the
keeps
thing.
pushing.
Wonder
Katana
Woman can
Prime.
actually parry
There's a late
some
feed
of
back
like
three.
these
Katana Prime
projectile
scouts
stuff
it
and
out.
whatever. So she has some decent options
Oh, what a nice shield.
against
This is
Starfire.
definitely Katana Prime's comfort zone right now. There we go.
He actually had a really good lead.
I think a big
at the
part of
beginning
that, though,
of
was
this.
Katana
Solid
Prime
like
being able to,
45%.
utilize the shield toss a bit better. You know, being able to use it in the air,
See, she can
preemptively, trying to
parry
not
those.
so much trade with projectiles, but just kind of beat out clean. KP is playing so disciplined. That's one thing. He's always approached like their own games very, very calculated. And I feel like the characters he plays, it's very much like an extension of
And
that
we're back.
style. And absolutely good to see in this level of tournament too, like very, very composed. You know, but the problem we talk about how positioning is everything in this kind of matchup. We're seeing it now. Katana Prime back to the wall, and HoneyBee, all of that playground behind him to work with. And I love that kind of play, that kind of throw where something is minus or punishable, but it's hard to punish. You're probably going to be blocking after it. And there we go.
That's the thing as well, is anytime an opponent throws like an interactable like that, a meter burn back 3 or 4-3 can beat it. I know Hayati is really good at reacting to those or anticipating those and punishing them. So you have to be careful if you're gonna just throw stuff like that.
Okay, there's a shield back. Maybe pressing nothing. Actually wastes a bar. Going through Katana Prime, walking into one head at a time.
I don't know why I was doing
Now,
so many
156
just back
points of health.
threes like that. That's honestly not the smartest thing
Approaching
to
chip
do.
territory now, especially. Has to
Oh
be
my
careful.
word.
Wow, is that traded? Oh, and he runs. Face.
He did another delay wake up to get out of that, to stay alive a little bit longer, but
Now,
yeah.
does he stick with Wonder Woman or does he try and go with Harley? I mean, it's make or break, because the thing is, you know, Starfire is not the only character they can bring to the table.
Decides to stick it out with Wonder Woman.
Katana Prime, he has 3 games in a row to do now. HoneyBee absolutely in the driver's seat. Not impossible for Katana Prime, but definitely difficult. We see the knockdown. I can only assume he tried to interrupt there, or he expected the clusters. You know, the 2-3 into clusters, very, very common string. Standing 3. Nice amount of pushback on that as well. Armor reversals, the back 3 just creating a real estate. And there's that parry again. Katana Prime, he's doing that a few times. Clearly, you know, it's not going to work for every projectile. Okay, there we go. Nice reaction. Not arranged to get a clean jump in, but the shield will be enough. But there we go. The meter burn back 3. HoneyBee using that armor preemptively.
That's another thing, is anytime
Back 3. HoneyBee using that armor preemptively.
Starfire, so I hit him here, and I right after here, if I were to commit to the normal B&B I would do, which is like 1-1-3 into the up thing, the 1-1-3 would whiff, and then he could punish me. So you have to be ready for your opponents to air tech. So I saw he air teched. I already did the 1-1, but I just didn't input the 3 so that I could recover and hit him after. Those are one of those things where yeah, you got to be ready for stuff like that, because if I just decided to go for the full string, he would have punished me and then changed the tides of the match. That was a really good parry.
3? Are you serious?
Yeah, that was a great parry from
My favorite treat.
my favorite.
And it did enough to take the life bar.
That was
what a decision.
That
from
was
Katana
so
Prime.
sick.
Wonder Woman indeed.
But chip.
Oh wow, but there we go, the chip, evening things out.
She gets like maybe like 10%
Real
chip
estate.
from that.
Katana Prime doesn't have
pretty
any bar.
crazy.
HoneyBee is slowly nearing the wall. Back three again.
So I went for like corner position a lot so that I could have more of the screen to back up as opposed to damage. Sometimes screen positioning is more important than just raw damage. And I also noticed that a lot of times Katana Prime would try to challenge after I did the hair flip, so you can see throughout the set actually, like, I would do that and I would meter burn it and he'd get hit because he's trying to press a button like to try to like stop me.
Okay, shield bash.
And then yeah, if I meter burn it, he just gets hit. But you could hold back and press a button. I'm pretty sure.
Clean jump over.
Fine.
Yeah, didn't get max damage. Oh, unblockable. It's off now. There we go. Preempted down to Katana Prime, reading HoneyBee's advance. Now, even if he wins this clash, which he very well could do, yes, 2-0, his back's going to be somewhat near the wall. As long as KP can be super disciplined and the big thing, scout that charge, he should be in a good position here. Oh wow. There we go.
That was a big jump in front.
Oh,
that was really nice.
An option again. Katana Prime meeting armor for
I got kind
armor,
of
but
lucky
no.
there, I think.
Gets hit on the
This
back
was a
end
really
with the
close
wake
match
up.
at the end.
Gets sent straight back into
But yeah,
the screen.
I got hit by that and I got hit by that. And at that point it was
the
over.
charge connects on the meatiest of frames. And that is exactly what we need to do. He was
At this
able to
point, you know,
push
I lost the
him
match, but
medium
I'm
there.
not
And again,
really
it was
stressed,
so
you know, just like it's
difficult.
okay, like just
Complicated it
keep
is.
playing the
You
game I was
can't
playing in
approach.
the first two
So
matches.
much internet shield
I
shots
should
on
be
all
able
these
to do
preemptive
fine.
shield tosses on prediction of HoneyBee trying to do something to get out that corner.
This is definitely one of the more slow-paced, methodical matches, I would say.
The biggest adjustment by far is the placement.
Neither character can really get too antsy, or else you're basically just gonna die.
It's making HoneyBee have to really second guess when he goes. And the second he hesitates, allows KP to close in the space. Watch out for the
Good meter burn roll out.
See, HoneyBee was able to throw Katana Prime towards the wall. HoneyBee,
Oh, no.
For it. Oof.
See right there again.
Jump, but couldn't get the conversion. That's really
Just don't
unfortunate.
commit
We're
to the
in
full
so
string
much
and you
grounded
can
damage.
react.
Ooh.
If I really wanted to, like if I made the hard
Oh,
read
wow.
that he would air
Beat them
escape, I
on
could
to my
just
dude.
punish him and start a new combo.
Punish! Watch out! Oh wow, tries to punish, but there we go, back-to-back down twos. Katana Prime with the call-out. 4-2 is a high. He's going to lose those low profilers. Now, it's going to be match point HoneyBee, but that interaction is now gone for good. Yes, indeed.
So yeah, back to the wall.
Katana Prime.
Goal is obviously to get out somehow. I tried to throw him in the corner, but that's the thing. That string starts off of a high attack, so 4-2 is a high, and KP was ready, so he just down 2s me as I approach with the 4-2.
Galactic jumping, Katana Prime with the perfect timing.
And that's another option that Starfire players will try to get out the corner. It works a good amount of the time. Pretty close match right now, though. Really could go either way. If I were to have lost this match, then it would get scary. If it's 2-2, definitely don't want to lose. Me hitting him with that was really big deal, I would say, because it really forced him into having to come to me, and then me hitting him with that was basically the nail in the coffin.
What does he do here? Attempt on the armor, the charge, the low
That actually
profile.
works. I try it again.
He needs so
Doesn't
much
work.
more. How do you catch her? Oh,
I thought
oh,
he'd
no.
jump right here.
Oh,
The
and
parry
again,
was a really good
Katana-
option,
No,
but
he
oh,
missed
he
the
made that
back three.
mistake.
Oh no! So
That was
make
that.
the
That was that.
godly read of the parry to get past. Wait, no, I'm not even a read.
Close matches though. At the end, KP was doing really well at the end. So next up we have me versus Irish Mantis. Alright, so right now we have myself fighting Irish Mantis. At this point I am in top 4. If I were to win, I'd be top 3. So my goal for the tournament was to get at least top 4 so I could get 100 points. Let's go ahead and start the match.
He needs minimum top 3 here, and he has to do well in the online tournament as well. So this is so vital for him.
And
But
yeah,
the
so I
matchup-
decided to go Starfire because I know that Starfire
Potentially.
does
I
a
mean, I
lot
can't say I've
better
seen
than
Starfire
Flash does
from
in this
this,
matchup.
At the same time,
I
I
was
like
playing it a little bit with him already, and I knew that I was doing way better with Starfire. This is just a button
But that being
check.
said, when Starfire is as common of all 3 remaining
here we go.
Canadians in the tournament to be EU's final hope, will the crowd get behind him? Will they help him bring it to
Yeah,
the
EU
end?
rooting for
If the
Mantis.
crowd's gonna lend
EU
their
always
hand
roots
to
for EU.
Mantis, the
EU
sole
crowd is great. They're always hyped.
representation left for Europe. We have all
So
3
you'll see that in
Canadians
this
in full
matchup.
attendance.
I punish him a lot
Reason,
for
but
like
if one
raw trait
player
activations.
surely
Starfire's
Mantis has to
trait
be the
goes
one.
right through that trait.
Oh, he has no choice but to be. Obviously, we saw HoneyBee able to take out Tekken Master's Atrocitus, but Tekken Master...
You have to be a little bit careful with the way you zone Atrocitus, though, because if I shoot a projectile at the same time he does a puddle, like that, if I were to shot a projectile there, he would have been able to get a trade and end up getting a full combo. But if he does a puddle and I just block it, then I can punish him easily with my trait for like 20% or so full screen. Or if I use the flip, that can work too.
Try and catch him doing something that low on life is almost guaranteed to lose. But you know, I think we talked a lot about Irish Madness needing third place. HoneyBee himself, you know, it would definitely help him to get as much points as possible. You know, this is a guy that had his breakout performance at EVO last year for this game and has been, you know, here and there, and is always, you know, considered a very...
So I started out really well already in this match. You can see I have quite a bit of a lead on him. Pops trait, so I get that easy punish with my trait. I think Mantis might have been a little bit impatient in this matchup sometimes. He would try to dash, and I would catch him with just a straight projectile. It's hard to stay patient when you're down like so much in a match. You just want to get in. And then he tried to go for the mix that one time, but I fuzzied it.
You go for that third hit, of course, you aren't going to have to block the breath anymore. HoneyBee. He knows, but this, you know, this is why he plays multiple characters. You know, he almost like quite shot himself in the foot early on with the game when he kind of played almost basically exclusively, and he would find himself all the time finding hard matchup. He'd fight Aquaman all the time. He'd have to fight all these other characters. That's the thing. It was a combination of things. HoneyBee spent the first part of last year fighting nothing but Aquaman players, and then this year, obviously fighting like Sonic Fox.
I actually didn't get him that time for the trade activation, but I still got the
first hit. I think that really must have given him some hard truths of, look, I know you're the best Flash in the world, but you can't win this alone with this one character. Some of these matchups are just too bad, and you need a backup. And then Starfight is that backup. She covers so many of the matchups as well. And, you know, she's not just a secondary. HoneyBee has put some serious time into this character, and it really is showing now. Obviously, Irish Madness is no slouch to himself. Trying to be patient with the defense, but it's just looking as hard as ever. And the whiff punish to the forward.
A little bit of a punish there. Nothing too major, but
even now it's half gone. He's done nothing with it. He just can't. There's a grab attempt. So safe with the orb from Dexter, but we look at the life difference already. Irish Madness has barely been opened up by anything.
If I actually hit him there, that would have been like really bad news for Mantis, but he got a little bit lucky by having that connect, and he's actually in a really good position right now.
You get down one into a guaranteed lift. Okay, here comes Mantis. If he's going to win the matchup, it has to be here, which means he has to
I push block him right there because I am low on life, so I really don't want to take that chip damage.
He can still win this. Forward 2 by itself. Not dedicating. Okay, the meter burn. Sure
I hit him right there with the 4-2 throw. I feel like he should have been ready for it. I got away with it quite a bit in this tournament, I think, using the 4-2 throw, because I'm always using it to try to get my opponent in the corner. That's what all Starfire players try to do. Do a little bit of a stagger throw. Trying to get as much like as I can with this pixel. It honestly went pretty far, and then he hits me there. Like, that's not too bad considering it was a little pixel that I had.
He can spend the whole game running away, and that's why he's going to go for this different strategy.
And yeah, I'm just trying to wait to see if he tries to throw out a puddle so I can block it. Don't want to get hit by one of those. I don't know what he was doing there, that he ended up getting hit by my attack.
Even though this is going better for Madness, it still looks incredibly difficult. Now with the 2 bars being spent.
So yeah, just really trying to. I don't know why I would go for that flip. It's honestly not a smart idea. Not too many reasons why he would have got hit there. But yeah, right now he's in a terrible position.
HoneyBee is just grinding down Irish Madness.
Jump at him.
Doesn't dedicate. Nope. Doesn't dedicate to anything. Just tries to go for the forward 2-2 by itself.
That's a good roll.
Okay, this is the start. Needs
but yeah, there's not too, like, Tekken the throws a lot. There's not too much that he could really do at this point. Go for the meter burn interactable to try to get him off me. And yeah, now it's like basically over.
Mantis is gonna have to think very carefully here about how he's going to.
I think puts the cursor over Black Manta.
He does play Black Manta.
If he did go Black Manta, though, honestly, I wouldn't be too worried. I've never fought as Black Manta. I don't know how good it is. Black Manta should do fairly well against Starfire, but I have played the matchup, so I was like somewhat confident in it. And even if I did lose, he'd be stuck on Black Manta. At which point, if I lost, I would have just gone to Flash, and I'm fine with the Flash Black Manta matchup.
I mean, he was hovering over Black Manta. And then the second Happy said
So yeah, that's why like me using Starfire in this matchup as opposed to Tekken Master just made a lot more sense for me, because I know that like Mantis doesn't have a really strong secondary, whereas Tekken Master has a bunch. So like I'd much rather put myself like in a locked situation with Starfire against Mantis than Tekken Master, and get a little bit of a trade there, you know, get a little bit more damage. Get a tech to throw. Yeah, I was ready for a lot of those. He should have punished me right there for the whiff back three.
Oh wow, I think he just didn't want to stick out a button there because he got hit. That would be
a little bit of a punish. Tried to do a little bit of a shimmy there, but he didn't bite.
2-3 just in case he tried to take the grab. We would have seen the full combo, but patience from Manus. It looks like an exact replica of the first couple of games, man. This is exactly HoneyBee getting an early life lead and so dominant.
Big life lead right now. I barely got touched.
Now one life bar to go. HoneyBee.
I don't even know if Mantis actually got like a full combo in this. That just kind of worked out there. Reacted to him flipping, and now he's in a terrible situation, honestly.
Coming through, but I mean,
there's not really any coming back from this right now. Right now, for me, it's just a matter of just closing out the game.
Comeback isn't even possible now.
Anytime you see Starfire do a meter burn back three, a back three like that, you could react and do a meter burn back three or a meter burn forward three of your own to beat it, but Mantis just wasn't doing that.
And can't even let him grab. At least let him grab you, HoneyBee, just once.
And that was it.
To finish off.
That was pretty quick. If I used Flash, like I could have beaten him, but I can guarantee you it would not have been anywhere near as decisive as that. So that's why Starfire is a good pick. It was just a Starfire path, man. Like Wonder Woman, Atrocitus, Robin, they're all Starfire character like matchups that I would prefer using Starfire. So let's go forward. Oh, this okay.
Restart match. I mean, HoneyBee, the difference in points between first, second, and third is quite considerable. And being one set away from getting that massive point injection, these are two players that they definitely need that boost.
So at this the commentators right now, they're saying about how both of us really need the points at this point, but it's actually not that important at this point. If I were to lose, which I did, I end up with 200 points, which is really good. Like I don't need more points. Like I'm already in a solid spot. Hayati, if he were to have lost, he would have had 150 points, which is not amazing, but it's a really strong position. Like if Hayati lost, he'd still be in a really solid and somewhat comfortable position, I would say. He won, so he ended up winning and then losing to my brother Bio. So he got 180 points total instead of 150 points, because third place gets 130, second place gets 160. Plus he already had 20 points coming into this. So he ends with 180 points. Could have been 150 if I won, but either way, I would say like we were both in a great position at this point. In terms of like if we were to qualify for IPS finals.
It's pretty significant, and it makes it well worthwhile. The Fire has it sitting in Grand Finals winner's side, not needing the points as much as HoneyBee and Hayati do. This losers finals is arguably the most important set of the day. Yeah,
so I'm not too sure why they were talking about how important the losers final set was. I would say it was way more important like the losers semis, or where like Mantis really wanted to, because if Mantis beat me, then he would have had a lot more points and he would have been potentially going out to more tournaments. Same thing goes for like Happy Pow or Shark Teeth or Tekken Master. It was way more important in those matches. I think this is actually one of the least important matches. And Grand Finals was honestly not that important either, because like Bio and Hayate are basically both in at that point in terms of points for the finals. Yeah, a little bit of a pickup there.
Knowing that the down one hair is going to be a little bit higher up.
So this match, I think, just really went my way. Hayati was getting caught by a lot of just straight projectiles, I would say. Some trait usage he was just getting caught by like that. Being a little bit impatient, I think, but he got way better as the set went on, obviously. He ended up beating me. I hit him with a lot of straight projectiles, I feel.
Every time that Stardust is blocked, it goes him almost like half a bar. Pretty insane. Unsafe.
And
he must have just expected HoneyBee to respect the follow-up.
So at this point, I win the first match, and I'm already thinking, like, if I were to lose at some point, I wouldn't really think of switching to Flash because I can do this with Starfire. Like, even though Hayate knows the matchup super well, I feel like I know the matchup really well as well. So it's definitely doable with Starfire. Never really thought about using Flash.
I mean, and this is obviously mobility close to space. Now we are going to see the first hit at the very least.
And he does a little bit of a shimmy right there. As you can see, he hits me with the down one, walks forward, hits me with the overhead. Right here, I should have expected him to use the interactable and bait it, but I didn't. So like little things like that would have completely changed it. Right there, there's no way. Hold on. Right here. There's no way he reacted to me doing the meter run back 3, I don't think. I feel like he just went for his own, and then it just so happened to work out for him. And then it just made everything in this matchup just really work out for him, especially early on, because he has a huge life lead on me.
And this is the turnaround he needed. It's just turnaround positioning, getting some good reads on when to jump, putting the pressure on the HoneyBee. Sorry,
He's trying to bring it back. Trying to get a few straight hits here. He has the life lead, but at this distance against Starfire, it's going to last so long. And there's the I committed to the full string there. That was really stupid. Because look at that. Because of that, I take a solid like 35% damage. If I didn't commit to that, this matchup could have gone the other way. Because that was a really big mess up on my end, I think. Committing to the full string when it didn't hit him.
It's the threat of the wake-ups that are wake-ups that lets the fake ones kind of work. You know, it's that kind of age-old mind game. Obviously, Hayate having some options. There's a life lead, but he's still trying to struggle for it. If he sits on full screen, he's eventually going to get tagged.
That's a pretty big tag right there that I got him.
Be disastrous, depending. There's a lot of bar though.
That's nice jumping.
I think he was expecting that to be blocked. I don't think he was expecting it to hit at all.
Ouch.
Okay, kick too.
And right now, at least I'm out of the corner.
Having to really enforce those
so I can try to walk back a little bit.
Oh, the cool. Wonderful choice. Really good trade. Oh my god,
that worked out. And right now, we're in a really close position.
It was. Because just look at how quickly the life was
Ooh, see, he did a little shimmy again on me there. Like, rolls in my face, walks forward for half of a second, and goes for the overhead and hits me trying to press a button.
With the bar still in the tank and half a trait.
Yeah, just trying to get a solid hit to like really bring it back. I think I end up getting one right there. That was pretty big. Right, and then yeah, I just needed one touch, but then he got the jump. Right there, I feel like if I DP'd, I would have hit him. If I did a jump in air to air, I might have hit him. If I walked back, I could have made him whiff. Yeah, but he got the jump in. That was big because if I won that match, I would have been up 2-1. I mean 2-0, and being up 2-0 is a big deal. Because if I was up 2-0 and then lost the match, then I might have considered actually switching to Flash and seeing how that goes. Because then I could lose and then still come back and switch back to Starfire. But yeah, instead we're 1-1. So when he's in this range right here, it is a little bit risky. Like when we're in this range, it's a little bit risky for me to like throw a projectile because if he does get a jump over, he can hit me and take like 50% of my health. So it is a little bit risky, and like I could do a 4-2 to try to get him off me, like a 4-2-2 or whatever, but then if he reacts to that, he can down 2 me and get a full combo. So it's a little bit risky when he's up in this space. Like this is where Robin wants to be. This is exactly where I don't want him to be as a Starfire player. It's a little bit scary. And then yeah, I tried to do a little bit of something there, and he was ready for it.
You can be off to a much better start, but unfortunately, it's not going to repeat history in this next game.
Right here, I started hitting him with a couple of these Stardust and stuff.
Stardust does have multiple ranges you can throw it, so it does require HoneyBee to be on point.
See, I did a little bit of a whiff there, you can see. just to kind of switch it up a bit.
Stardust. Look at the spacing.
I whiff a stand 1, and then he tries to dash forward right here, and then I hit him with the meter burn Stardust and push him back. Little things like that can just kind of help you out sometimes when you're trying to zone out an opponent, just switching it up a little bit. That was a bad use of meter burn back 3. He was super ready for the punish.
It's gonna be Hayati. This guy has some of the
I shouldn't have used the back 3 like that and then dash up down 2. Works quite well.
Didn't actually get it to come out at all, but still lost the bar. It's recharging very slowly.
And then I was ready for him right there to try to DP, and I interrupted it.
I actually think that might be the first time we've seen Hayati go for the the uppercut into meter burn all day, and HoneyBee punished it the first time. Still have the knowledge.
Yeah, that whiffed.
The knowledge from HoneyBee showing who's strong now. He does have a little bit left on this life bar. He does have the screen.
Trying to get a little bit of damage, and then I just get hit. That sucks.
This is incredibly close. It is. I mean, it's hard to call, and it was always going to be. You know, these Canadian players. I think HoneyBee, Biohazard, Hayati have been some of the best, inarguably, some of the best players from that region of the world. And they've played each other.
That was a really random meter burn forward 3, I feel. Just, he did a, what was it, a sweep?
Again, another even, some of the best players from that region of the world.
Sweep, and then a meter burn forward 3.
So many different times
That's random.
across the year competition.
I measure up. You don't.
Again, another even play here. Flash can go towards HoneyBee this time. But he had to spend all of his resources to win the trade. And he had to win that class situation, which means he has nothing now to do the increased chip. And it really is the meter burn, adding the mid on top that forces the bar.
Ouch. Down 1 stagger into an overhead.
Yeah, the forward 3 is quite tight off that.
Yeah, a lot of stuff went wrong right here. Nice conversion from Hayati.
Wake up. First time we've gone for that string, but there was no mix-up. The mix-up is between low or meter burn forward 3. So yeah, she's the kind of character that you
just
really
like that. I'm down 2 to 1 when I could have been up 2 to 1.
Here. We have to remember the first game.
Oh man, closing out those matches is so key in a tournament.
But Hayati, he's taking the time.
And yeah, I decided to stay on the stage because it's a pretty long stage, so I can like try to zone as much as possible. I didn't feel like I should switch the stage. That's like the first time I hit him with the back 2 in the set.
Robin has more grounded range. I really feel like that's something that HoneyBee doesn't want to deal with. Instead of letting Hayati control the pace of the neutral, HoneyBee wants to pick a character that forces that exact same plan against Hayati instead. Which is why we see Starfire. Hayati might be 2-1 up, but these games are 100% being dictated by HoneyBee. You know, the speed we're playing them at, the range we're taking place. Hayati is closing the distance by doing some really, basically dangerous stuff because he has no choice but to go for, those risky jumps.
Right there, I used the interactable, but Hayate is usually really good at just meter burn forward 3ing. Anytime he sees you use an interactable, so I'm actually kind of surprised he didn't hit me there, but I know he hits me later on in the set when I try to use the other one. And get out of the corner, but get caught. Tried to back 2 him and got caught. That was, yeah, he does that sometimes. He likes to do down 1-2 into a bounce cancel and catches you if you're trying to counter poke. It's really smart.
HoneyBee might be able to bring this back. Who knows?
And get out of the corner.
Charge just to get out of there. It's not really as an attack. It's used as a corner escape. Raw shit. Give it to me. Oh, attempt to press the button, but the patience. Hayati not pressing anything. I love the way Hayati opts to go for those.
I think I forgot that was an overhead. I just ended up getting hit by it, which was really bad.
Either trade or give him the opportunity to combo off. Oh, there's the explosive. Oh, and there is the answer from HoneyBee. Sending Hayati back.
See, I think right here I go for the interactable. Because I felt like he was so far away from me, but he just like takes a quick step forward and all of a sudden he's in my face, meter burn forward 3 and I get caught. Oh man. Bad choice. Bad choice.
Oh, there's a big jumping again. You can see the range. Hayati being able to throw out those jumping attacks, really kind of challenging HoneyBee on the ground. Oh, they're jumping again. There's the charge out there. HoneyBee, just like that, is full screen again on the opposite side. We're going in. Oh, I love the mix-up.
A little bit crazy with the jump 3s right here.
HoneyBee's found something that works.
Oh, down 1 into a down 1 stagger. And then just like that. Oh man.
This could be it. One potential hit here.
Little things like that, man. Completely changes the whole matchup. And that's really hard to deal with. At this point, it's basically over. There's really not much of anything that you can do as a star player to win right now.
One mistake and he's out of there. Goes in for the jump threes. Push block. Watch out.
And Assassin's Edge.
Oh my god! How else you can get on Starfire?
So just like that, I ended up getting 3rd place at Viennality. Not terrible, not as good as I was hoping for. I really wanted to win the whole thing because if I did beat Hayati, I would have fought my bro Bio and I would have gone Flash because Flash is just the character that I would use on him. But yeah, didn't quite work out, but I'm happy I went to the tournament. It was a great experience. Got a lot of points for the Pro Series. And yeah, thanks for watching, everyone. Like, comment, subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one.
We going.